Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Si here. Thought I'd do a little cheeky gunner talk, seeing as the transfer window's just shut. A lot of you guys really disappointed with what's gone on in this window, which I get. I understand the frustration, but what were you expecting to happen in this window? If you just look into the financials a little bit and use a bit of common sense, there was never really anything going to happen in this window. So I'm taking a different look at it. That the fact we've got a really good player in my opinion, in Denis Suarez, I'm really happy because it's more than I expected. Way more than I thought had happened this window. Bit disappointed we couldn't get another one in on loan, but it's going to be tricky in January when you can only do loan signings. People saying we've got no money. We've got plenty of money. It's just with the wage side of things that we can't do any deals. Somebody said yesterday, well, we've managed to pay Denis Suarez his wages. It works different, guys, when it's a loan fee. We pay a fee to Barca and they pay his wages. That's the difference. So clear that one up for you if you couldn't understand it or get your head around it. What we're getting, for me, I think we should have let Ramsey go and swapped him directly with Suarez and got rid of those wages and tried to get one more in a winger. I like the versatility of this kid. He can. I keep saying about square pegs in round holes, but this he can play in numerous positions. He can play in the cam position or a bit deeper in midfield maybe. I'll play down the lines on the wing. He brings a lot. He can dribble the ball well. He looks pretty strong from what I've seen of him. So I'm really excited for him. And the fee we've agreed. If we want to make it permanent, I think he's peanuts compared to what we might get. He's 25. He's at the right age. So I'm really excited on that front. People, you've got to look at it. Unai, there was money there in the summer. We spent it. I think we spent it fairly well. If you look at what we brought in, Socrates, we paid a fair price for him, and he's turned out to be a lot better than most people thought. I thought he'd be, he's turned out to be our best centre back. And I hope he can keep it up next year as well. I'll definitely keep him around. Leno, I think, was another really, really strong signing for how much we paid for him. When you look at compared to Alisson and whatever he's called, Chelsea signed Kepa. He doesn't look that great of a Kepa, does he? For 70 million, he's not 50 million better than Leno, not in a million years. It was nice to see Emmy's comments yesterday about he's been promised it'll be our number 2 next year, so I'm really excited for that. Check out the door, and there's 90 grand a week already that we've got in wages to throw at somebody. That should get us a really good player, so I'm happy with that. You look at the other signings, Torreira, absolute bargain. Guendouzi, pass to Guendouzi on the left hand side, pass to Guendouzi on the right hand side. He's gonna tackle, maybe jump and cross, and now we've signed him, we can rock and dance. I love the Guendouzi. I thought he was a top signing for the money, and I think he's a 30 million player plus already, and I really can't wait to see this kid getting constant first team football next year once he's got a bit more confidence behind him and bulks out a little bit. Him and Torreira deep in midfield instead of Xhaka. I'm really excited for. Throw another one in there. Maybe Ainsley, Suarez, Emile Smith-Rowe. I'm so excited for that move he's made yesterday. It's a shame Eddie's not gone. Augsburg, I was looking forward to that one as well, but I'm not going to complain if he's staying around. I just thought I was hoping we'd get a winger in yesterday and that we'd let Eddie go out on loan and just alternate Laka and Oba. But really excited for Emile. Leipzig are a top club. I love the way they ran, and I think that's going to be a massive move for him if he actually gets decent game time there. I think he could really flourish over there. German league's a lot like ours. So I'm really excited for that one, and I just hope he can stay fit and do himself justice. I'm just excited, guys. You actually look at where we are. We're 4th. We've got awful injury problems. A lot of you don't think we're particularly good, like I don't. Our squad, I think, is pretty shit. And there's lots of deadwood I'd get rid of. That some people don't agree with me, but I think we're moving in the right direction, guys. I think somebody said to me the other day about, if you look, we've only lost one more game than City this year, and look at their squad compared to ours. We're above United, better squad. We're above Chelsea now. Maybe only on goal difference, but we're competing, and that's way more than I expected this year. I thought top 4 we'd be really lucky. Top 6 for me, I'd have been happy. Looking at the build that was on, and it was a transitional year for me this year, so I think there's only really good things to, positives. If you just get your saltiness out of the way and accept the reality of that there was never going to be much happening in this window, And just wait till the summer, guys. A few of you know I've got a few decent contacts in the game through working in it. I've been reassured that there's going to be plenty to throw around in the summer, and we are actually going to go out there and smash it. I can only see us probably letting Cos go, Litchi go. Maybe we might let Mustafi go. I definitely think we'll buy a big name centre back. I'd happily see someone like Upamecano come in for a bit less money, or we go for a Koulibaly or someone who's already at the top of the game. So that's really interesting. For me, the midfield, I'd let Xhaka go. I think he's a waste of money and a waste of skin, to be honest. He's really disappointed me this year. I thought he was going to smash it, and he's gone backwards for me. So with him, if he went, Ramsey go in, El Neni I think will be gone. That frees up space. Callum, over at Fulham, he's doing a really good job this year in sort of box to box centre defensive mid. So he might be another one that could line up next to, maybe switching him and Guendouzi up next to Torreira. And if that's the case, then I'd bring another centre defensive mid in to give Torreira a bit of a break, because as brilliant as he is, he can't play every game, if we're in Europe and Cup competitions as well. So that's an interesting one. Winger, we've got the likes of Saka, Naquali, Reece. Do we need another winger? I'd say definitely, because we can't keep playing Ober out there. I think we mix it up between Ober and Laka up front, and we get one real quality winger in. And then, we address the other positions. We need to get a right back in. There's no two ways about that. Bellick, he's been doing a cracking job this year at Charlton. So he's another one who could come back in the fold in that. Maybe he could be the cover for Torreira. So that's maybe an area of the pitch where we don't have to spend any money. Apart from maybe making Suarez permanent, 20 to 30 million euros. That's a steal for me if he turns out to be as good as I think. Mickey, do we keep Mickey? Do we let him go? Iwobi, do we move him centrally and get two wingers in? It's really interesting, guys, and I find it really exciting. I do. I'm trying to look at the positives in this situation, and I hope you guys can do the same too. So I think for me, I'm a bit disappointed with the Nacho news of him being offered another year. You guys know I'm not a big fan. I think he was average when we signed him, and he still is. And watching him fill in the other night at centre back, I couldn't work out if he was worse or just as shit as Xhaka at centre back. He's just not very good at defending. People tell me that's his one thing that he has over Kolasinac, and I don't think he's any better at defending. I really don't. And Kolasinac offers way more going forward in the system we're playing. So for me, as I told you guys, Kolasinac's the future, Nacho's the past. I'd have looked to get rid of him and get a young left back in. And for me, I'd go straight at Palace, and try and get Wan-Bissaka and Van Aanholt in, or Wan-Bissaka and Chilwell, and get some youth in there. I'm not sure what we've got in our system at the minute, but we definitely need cover in those positions. A third choice goalkeeper. Loving the fact that Emi's been named as number 2 for next year, if that's actually true. Can't imagine him coming out and saying that if the club hadn't told him. So goalkeeper was set. Right back, we need one, definitely. Centre back we definitely need, and we need to spend big there and shift some deadwood. Left back, to me, we'd need one, but with Nacho staying, maybe that's not important for next year. Centre mid, like I've just said, Bellick, Chambers, Guendouzi, Emile Smith-Rowe. Ainsley then getting freed up in midfield. I think the midfield looks quite lively and really young, so I'm happy in that spot. Ozil, what happens with him? If he goes, then Kai Havertz, for me, he's a really, really top idea as a young replacement in that position. I'd happily spend 30, 40, 50 million bringing that kid in. And then, like I say, do you go for a couple of wingers? So I told you guys I think we need 11 players. I'm not so sure now. Maybe we only need 5. Just depends really on what we shift out, doesn't it? And people need to cut Unai some slack. That's something that's been really making my piss boil the last few days. How anybody can give this guy shit with what he's actually dealing with is beyond me. I think he's doing an incredible job. He went 22 unbeaten, all the rest of it. I think he's doing fabulous work myself, and I'm really happy for that to continue. And I think next year, and like I said, 2-3 seasons is when we're going to see what we're going to get out of this guy, and if he is the right guy to take us forward, and I firmly believe he is. And I think next year will be his first proper season, in my opinion, and then the year after is when we should be attacking that the top 2 in the table, and seeing ourselves as contenders. Next window we need to get in some transfers, get the squad looking really solid, and then the year after we kick on and look to do some damage. So for me, we're a club in transition at the minute, and I'm going to accept it that way. I don't really see us winning the Europa, but I'll be happy if we do. And top four is going to be tough. You know, although we've just snuck in there on goal difference, I think it's going to be tough to stay there. But I was looking at the fixtures the other day, and if we can just buck up against those smaller teams, a lot of the other big teams have got a lot of other big teams to play. So I think we're in there. You know, we're in there with a puncher's chance. You know, so only big things and excitement for me at the minute, guys. You know, and Opu and I can keep doing some really good work, getting the lads working hard, and you know, just hold on in there. So that's it from me, guys. Bit of a waffle, bit of chat. Hope you have a lovely Friday. Take it easy if you're out there in the ice and the snow down south. It's not too bad up north. We've had it earlier in the week. It's all gone. And have a lovely weekend, guys. Take it easy. Take care.